Why do I still feel empty? You have the bed, the food, the phone, maybe even the car and the job, yet the joy you thought all of this would bring is missing. Isn't it strange? We chase, we achieve, we collect and we display, but inside our chests, the storm of unhappiness still rages. Have you ever asked yourself why? What is it that makes us so restless, so unfulfilled, so desperate for something more? My beloved brothers and sisters, today we will uncover the real reason you are unhappy, and more importantly, how you can unlock the door to a happiness that no wealth, no human, and no material possession could ever provide. And as we begin this journey together, I ask you to open your heart. Let these words sink deep, not just as sound in your ears, but as light for your soul. If this reminder touches you, share it. Let others feel the same awakening. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, not just to listen, but to remind yourself that life is too short to spend without reminders that bring you closer to the one who created you. Think for a moment about the invisible battles you fight each day. You wake up and almost immediately your mind begins racing. Deadlines, responsibilities, family matters, worries about the future. It is as though the moment your eyes open, the weight of the world is placed back upon your shoulders. And even before you brush your teeth or sip a glass of water, you already feel tired. Does that sound familiar? We live in an age where our minds rarely rest. Notifications, constant comparisons, endless streams of information. Our hearts are being pulled in 100 directions, and while our bodies may still be lying in bed, our thoughts are already running, sprinting, drowning us in anxieties. My brothers and sisters, this is one of the greatest thieves of happiness, the inability to silence the noise of the world and to reconnect with the quiet of our souls. Imagine a person standing in the middle of a crowded marketplace, surrounded by shouts, bargaining, laughter, and chaos. He is shouting too, trying to make his voice heard, but it is drowned in the noise. This is your heart every day, crying for peace, crying for clarity, crying to be heard above the noise of your thoughts. But you drown it with more distractions, more comparisons, more scrolling, more chasing. And then at the end of the day you wonder, why am I not happy? Happiness, my dear brothers and sisters, cannot exist where there is no stillness. If your mind is a battlefield of constant what-ifs, regrets and comparisons, how can your heart ever taste peace? Many of us are prisoners of our own thoughts. We think happiness will come when the problems disappear. But problems never disappear. They only change form. What changes is your perspective, your connection to Allah, and your ability to surrender to what you cannot control. Consider this. How often do you lie awake at night, eyes wide open in the dark, replaying a conversation from earlier in the day? That one sentence someone said to you, that one mistake you made, that one worry about tomorrow. It circles in your mind like a restless bird refusing to land. Hours pass, and instead of sleeping, you are trapped in cycles of thought. This is the daily war that no one else sees. But here is the truth that most of us don't realize. Your unhappiness in those moments is not because of the event itself. It is because you allow your mind to magnify it. A small problem becomes a mountain. A single comment becomes a heavy wound. A possibility of failure tomorrow feels like a certainty today. And while your mind inflates these thoughts, your heart suffocates. Allah reminds us in the Quran that it is only through the remembrance of Him that hearts find peace. Not through overthinking, not through replaying scenarios, not through imagining 1,000 different outcomes. True tranquility is found when you remember that no matter how chaotic your mind feels, there is a master who has already written your story. There is a Lord who has already measured your provision. There is a Creator who knows tomorrow, so you don't need to destroy today by worrying about it. Now ask yourself, if you spent half the energy you use worrying and instead used it to make dua, to speak to Allah, to cry to Him, to place your fears in His hands, how much lighter would your soul feel? The problem is not always what you are facing. The problem is how you are carrying it. You carry it alone, and so it crushes you. Place it in the hands of Allah, and you will still walk through the storm, but your heart will be dry beneath His shade. And let me tell you something even deeper. Sometimes the unhappiness you feel is Allah's way of calling you back. Think about it. When life is smooth, when distractions are endless, when you feel entertained and comfortable, how often do you stop to turn to Him sincerely? But when your chest feels heavy, when your thoughts won't stop, when your heart is restless, that is when you fall to your knees and whisper, Ya Allah, help me. Could it be that your unhappiness is not a punishment, but a divine invitation to return to Him? As you reflect on this, remember, the first battlefield you must win is not outside. It is not in your workplace, it is not in your relationships, it is not in your bank account, it is in your mind and in your heart. And if you lose that war, no matter how much you achieve outside, you will remain unhappy inside. The real reason so many of us are unhappy is because we are fighting battles alone that were meant to be surrendered to Allah. We live as though we are in control, and when life proves that we are not, we break. But the believer who trusts that every outcome is already written finds peace, even in chaos. And this is where our journey begins. We have spoken about the silent war inside, but what about the storms that come from outside through people, expectations, and relationships? For many, this is the second greatest cause of unhappiness. So much of our unhappiness, my beloved brothers and sisters, comes not from the world within us, but from the world around us, the people we interact with, the relationships we build, and the expectations that rise and fall like waves around our hearts. Think about it. How many of your sleepless nights have been caused by a broken promise, a harsh word, or a person you trusted letting you down? How often does the mood of your day depend entirely on how someone else treated you, or whether they acknowledged you, or whether they gave you the respect you hoped for? We live in a time where validation has become a currency. We post, we share, we wait for likes, comments, and attention. And when it doesn't come, our hearts sink. We dress a certain way, we speak a certain way, we live in ways designed to impress people. Yet we rarely pause to ask, why do I crave their approval so deeply? And more importantly, why do I allow my happiness to be chained to their opinion of me? Let me tell you something powerful. People will never fill the emptiness in your chest. They are human just like you. They are imperfect, forgetful, and often consumed with their own struggles. And yet we expect them to treat us perfectly, to never disappoint us, to always understand us. Is it fair to place such a burden on another human being? You see, when you depend on people for happiness, you are building your palace on sand. One wave, one betrayal, one forgotten message, and the whole palace collapses. Think of how often you replay someone's words in your mind. Why did she say that to me? What did he mean by that? Why didn't they include me? Why did they ignore me? And before you realize it, hours or even days are stolen, not by what actually happened, but by the chains of your overthinking. My dear brothers and sisters, you cannot control what others say or do, but you can control what you allow into your heart. Allah has already warned us that people will hurt us, sometimes even those closest to us. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was hurt by his own tribe, betrayed by his own people, insulted by strangers. But did he let their words steal his peace? No. He placed his trust in Allah, and he taught us through his own example that your worth is never defined by people, it is defined by your Creator. Let me give you an image. Imagine you are holding a delicate glass cup full of water. You hand it to someone and say, "Please, be careful. This is my happiness. Don't drop it." Now imagine that person is distracted, careless, maybe even clumsy. They drop the cup.